Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Saturday the 9th of September and I am going to talk to you about what I got up to the last 2 days. We went on a trip to Wellington, which was kind of like a teamwork bonding experience trip, and it was really cool. We got to go to Weta Workshops, which I wasn't actually allowed to film a lot of it, so I do apologize, and ate lots of food and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm sitting here in front of the sun. It is so nice today. It's still a bit windy, but the sun is out. I haven't really got up to much. We went out to breakfast this morning, which was really nice, and Jono and I talked about some freelancing stuff and enjoyed a really nice brunch. So that was good. Yeah. So essentially on Thursday I got up pretty early. I was at the airport by 8:30 and it was an okay flight into Wellington. If you've never flown into Wellington before, it's really quite terrifying if you don't know what to expect. So the very first time I remember flying into Wellington, we were flying over the water, which was a first for me really. And there was no runway for ages, but we were descending. It was really freaky. All you could see was water and it went on for ages. And then just as you're about to touch the ground, you see the runway, and it's quite terrifying. But it's also incredibly windy and you get blown around a lot, which you can't really tell in the footage. It was a bumpy ride, but nothing unexpected because that's just the way that Wellington is. So on Thursday we had coffee and we went to Weta Workshops about 3 o'clock. We weren't allowed to film pretty much anything inside Weta, but we got to see the Thunderbirds Go exhibition. Weta recently took on a project to relaunch the Thunderbird series. So they used a lot of the old techniques that they used for the original series. So they make all these little sets and the characters are actually animated on top of those sets, and they do all the explosions, they have heaps of moving parts. It was incredible to go and see. I don't know how long it's going for, so if you're a fan of modeling, crafting, or filmmaking, Weta is totally a place to go, and definitely go and see the exhibition if you can. It was so awesome. So the Weta Workshops are actually based in Miramar, which is about a 20-minute drive from the CBD, just along the coast a little bit. The place is real typical Kiwi, and there's just these like warehouses throughout the area. And it's so unsuspecting that they made $1 million movies there, and they had people like Scarlett Johansson. And it's amazing to think that they filmed Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit there, and it's just amazing to go and see how they do all those sorts of things. We also did not only the Thunderbirds exhibition, but the actual Weta exhibition. There we saw prosthetics, how they made swords, armor, animatronics, and it was so inspiring to see what you can do with really simple materials and not having to be all digital. That old techniques they used in the 80s and 70s in filmmaking, and even probably before that, is still being used by Weta, and I think they're also preferred as well because you get a much better feel, I guess. I personally prefer prosthetics over digital because it just gives it an element of realness, I think. I thought it was cool, and it was so inspiring, and if you're ever going to Wellington, make sure you take a trip out there. It's really not that hard to get there. We were incredibly lucky because we got to do a full experience, and we even went to the cinema in Miramar, and it's been recently done up. It's like an old Art Deco cinema, but it's been recently done up to sort of give it some more life. They had this amazing 3-course meal. The bartender was actually an award-winning cocktail creator, which is awesome because I love cocktails. He made these incredible dry ice, sciencey type creations, and so much fun. The food was amazing. The drinks were amazing. We even went upstairs to go and look at this amazing mural, which is so unexpected, and it's like androids floating in the air, and there's an Oscar up there as well, and you can just like wander around and take photos and things, which is so cool. Friday we didn't have much planned, but we all knew that we wanted to go down to Papa to see the Gallipoli exhibition. So Peter Jackson is a bit of a wartime fan, and he created these incredible sculptures that are huge, like twice, almost 2.5 times real scale people, and they have realistic hair and realistic sweat and blood, and everything looked incredibly realistic, and it was insane to look at. Essentially they go through some of the tales of people that went through World War One. If you don't know, World War One for New Zealand is actually quite significant. We still have Anzac Day, which is remembrance of our time on the battlefield at Gallipoli. For me, it was quite hard to be in there and listen to the stories and The last two are really hard-hitting stories, I guess. It's not something you take lightly going in there, and it's really informative, and I definitely recommend going. But for me, it was quite hard, I think, to listen to the stories, and yeah, it was really cool to see that, you know, people are still bringing those stories back to life, and I appreciate it. I really do. And then after that, we went up the hill to the War Memorial, where there was another war exhibition. And this one we were allowed to take a lot of footage in. It was a little less theatrical, I guess you could say. They had these scenes set up of soldiers and the trenches and tanks, and it was crazy cool. But that was a lot more informative as opposed to sort of theatrical. I think the coolest thing was how many photos they had taken back in that time. And I hadn't realized how many photos were actually from World War One, and they had recolored all of these photos, and there had to be almost 100 photos blown up on the wall, and were these little diorama type things. They had one that was the size of a room. It was like this whole hillside, essentially. I couldn't even film how massive it was, but there was hundreds and hundreds of these little toy soldiers. Each one was different, and each one had its own scenario as well. This thing was huge. It was probably the size of my living room past my kitchen type thing. It was massive. There was a lot of dioramas throughout that exhibition, and the Te Papa one as well. Somebody had to really love toy soldiers, and they painted every one of them, and just incredible stuff. And I appreciate the visual side of things because I'm not a literacy type person. I don't like reading and things. So, and obviously those were all done by Weta as well, and led by Peter Jackson, I think. I loved it. It was just so awesome. And then other than that, we just we walked around a lot. We ate a lot. Oh, the flight home was actually a Koru flight, which was really cool because it's the first time we've been in one of those. And they give you more options than just tea and coffee. They give you Coke, LMP, wine, beer, cider. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Pretty much the exciting news that I got up to this last 2 days. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this small tea time from me. I'm thinking of doing a small series called Freelance Talks, which at the moment I am planning for you guys. If you have anything that you want me to particularly talk about, then leave a comment below. But that is it from me. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of these in the future. Hit the like button if you loved it, and leave a comment below if you've got any suggestions for me in the future. I am pretty awesome. So are you, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!
I need to not pick up my phone. I'll go straight to airplane mode.
That's gotta be the quickest I've ever done that. Bye!
Find something to do. I know I can be a little bit cold, but my third eye is going blind. I'm on a line with my body and mind. It's playing tricks. I say I'm fine, but really it's hurting me deep inside, 'cause I've been dreaming about you. Ooh, I've been wishing I was next to you.